Effective peer reviews find bugs, but informal or improperly run reviews might not provide as much value. Beyond a requirement that review teams take the process seriously, there are a number of practical rules for running successful peer reviews. First of all, inspect the item, not the author. What that means is that you are there to find defects in the code, not character flaws in the author. So, be nice and emphasize the potential technical problem in a neutral way. For example, a comment such as, "That's a stupid mistake," has no place in a peer review. For authors, don't get defensive. Nobody writes perfect code. Get over it. If you have trouble getting defensive during a meeting, and we all might feel that way, the best solution is simply to leave the meeting. The author is not supposed to contribute after the initial introduction, so really there's no reason for the author to actually be there. Having the author leave can reduce potential sources of friction, but each team should figure out the best way to handle this dynamic. During the meeting, find but do not fix problems. Engineers just love to fix problems, but that is not what the peer review meeting is for. Rather, the meeting should identify the problem as specifically as possible in terms of symptom or technical deficiency. Give the author some credit for knowing how to fix a problem. The issue was, everyone misses things, so the author just didn't see it. Assume that this is the case and act accordingly. The point of a peer review is to identify problems, so focus on that. As a hint, the word should is not appropriate in a peer review. Limit peer review sessions to between 1 and 2 hours in length. After 2 hours, people become less productive and review effectiveness drops off. It is also important to keep a reasonable pace during the review. A target of perhaps 150 lines of non-comment source code per hour is usually appropriate for embedded software. Some code is complicated, or for some other reason might run slower. And some easy, simple code might run faster. But if the review ends up being outside of the range of about 100 to 200 lines per hour, something is probably wrong. If more than the very occasional peer review runs too fast or too slow, that's a trouble sign and you need to find out what's going on. During reviews, avoid, I'll call them religious debates on style. It is easy to get distracted by debates over the fine points of style and personal preferences during a review. That's not what reviews are for. Style guidelines should be taken as a given. Any ambiguity or disagreement in the style guidelines should be recorded separately as a defect with the style guidelines, and then get back to looking at the code you're there to look at. Finally, inspect early, often, and as formally as you can. Everything that is written down should be inspected, including requirements, high-level design, detailed design, code, test plans, and so on. It is important to keep records to document the value of peer reviews, such as the number of defects found by peer reviews, so that their effectiveness can be evaluated and the return on investment can be documented.